Okay, we're going to start with lesson 52 today. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the other side. So we have 2 times the tangent of 3 theta is equal to a positive 2 times the square root of 3. Then we're going to divide both sides by 2, and we'll have the tangent of 3 theta equals the square root of 3. I need to think like this. Tangent is positive. So my quadrants, where you get a positive a positive tangent, is in these 2 quadrants. Okay, if this is my angle, and I have a tangent of the square root of 3, that means this has to be a square root of 3, and that has to be a 1. So this one, this is my angle right here. So this is the square root of 3, and this is a 1. They're both negative. That's why it makes it positive. So what is this angle right here? So this is 60 degrees, right? So 3 theta equals 60 degrees. So 60 degrees here. And then this one is 180 plus 60. So that's 240. So 3 theta then is equal to 240. Now, you're going to divide by 3, and you're going to get theta equals 20. And you're going to get theta equals 80. Now, I'll show you the other time. Okay, we're going to go around the circle, which is 360, add it to this, and then divide by 3. But instead, just take your 360, since we're dividing by 3, divide it by 3, and you get 120. And this is what you're going to add to these. So you add 120 to 20, and you add 120 to 80. You go back up here, you add 120 to 140. See, I'm not over 360 yet, so I have to keep going. Add 120 to 200. Now, if I add 120 here, but now I'm over 360. So I actually have 6 answers on this one. Okay? So let's do it again. This one's going to come over, and you're going to get the cosine of 2x equals 1/2. And then you need to think. Cosine is positive here and here. Okay? And I want the cosine of this angle right here to be 1/2. 1 over 2 or 1 over 2. Same thing, right? So what angle is that? That would be the 30, so this is the 60. So I'm going to have 60 here, but wait a minute, it's in radians. So I want to say 2x then, 60 in radians, do 60 over 180. And you get 1/6, right? Did I say 1/6? Oh well. No, you get 1/3. I was already doing the 2. And if you do this one down here, then it's going to be what? Give me time to think. Don't wait on me. I need you to figure it out. Okay, we did 60 divided by 180 to get 1/3. So you're going to do 300 divided by 180, right? So you're going to get 10, what? 10 over 6, which is 5 over 3, right? Okay, so you get 5 over 3 pi. Now, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. So I get that x is, if I multiply by 1/2, I get 1/6 pi. Or that x is, I multiply by 1/2, I get 5/6 pi. Okay? Now, if I go around the whole time, that's 2 pi. And then if I divide it by 2, it's pi. So I'm going to add pi to this. So that's 6 over 6. So that's 7/6. Add 6 to this one, and you get 11/6. Now if I add 6 again, I get 13 over 6, which is more than 2. So I'm done. So I want you to notice, when it's times 2, you always get 2 to start, and then times 2 is 4. You always get 2 to start, times 3 is 6. You'll know when you need to stop then, okay? Okay, So another one of these. Again, this is your quadratic. So what you want to think about is like, let this be your x. Okay, so you get 4x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. So if you had 4x squared minus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now, it'd be really nice if we could factor it, okay? Now, usually when the numbers are sort of close together, that means these need to be smaller. Like, this doesn't need to be a 4, but maybe a 2. Let's try that. We'll see. It may not work. 6, let's see. If I use a 6 and a 1, I'm going to get a 12. That's too much. So if I use a 3 and a 2, let's try that. Let's see. That's 6, and that's 4. I'm not going to get a 5 that way, am I? Oh, no. So maybe these shouldn't have been 2 and 2. Maybe they should have been 4 and 1. That gives me an 8 and a 3. Ooh, see, that's promising. So that's negative 8 and a positive 3. That gives me my negative 6, and it gives me my negative 5. So then I can take each one of these and set it equal to 0. I get x equals negative 3/4 or 2. Okay? So that means that the cosecant of theta over 2 is going to be either a 2 or the cosecant, I'm going to do it over here, sorry, I don't want to do it to the side, or the cosecant of theta over 2 is going to be a negative 3/4. Now cosecant is 1 over sine. So if I change this to sine, then I have to flip the other side, so I get 1/2. If I change this to sine, I have to flip the other half. Now that's smaller than a negative 1, so that one's out. So this is the one I'm going to work with. Okay? So I want to know when sine is 1/2. So sine is positive here and here. So if this angle right here, if sine was 1/2, or right here, 1/2, that would have to be a 30-degree angle, right? So I'm going to have 30, and then all the way over here, 180 minus 30 is 150. So I'm going to have theta over 2 equals 30, and theta over 2 equals 150. Okay, then I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and I'm going to get 60. And this one, if I multiply by 2, I get 300. Okay, so I got 2 answers there. Okay? All right. Let's look at this one. This one's a square, so it's like 6x squared equals 8. Okay? So you're going to let x be your cosecant of 3 theta. Okay? So think of it like that. So if I divide by 6, I get 8 over 6, which is 4 over 3. Take the square root of both sides, I get plus or minus 4/3. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't take the square root of that. Sorry. Plus or minus 2 over the square root of 3. Now don't rationalize it or anything, because we've still got to work with this cosecant. So that means the cosecant of 3 theta is equal to either 2 over the square root of 3, or the cosecant of 3 theta equals negative 2 over the square root of 3. The cosecant is 1 over sine. So the sine of 3 theta then is going to be, flip it, square root of 3 over 2. Or the sine of 3 theta is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2. So you have to think, like, first of all, I need sine when it's positive, and I need sine when it's negative. Well, that's every single quadrant. So let's just draw one of them and figure it out. So if sine is square root of 3 over 2, then that is obviously a 60-degree angle. So that means 3 theta is going to be 60, or it's going to be 60 in this quadrant. which is going to be 180 minus 60, which is 120. Or it's going to be 60 in this quadrant, which is 180 plus 60, which is 240. Or it's going to be 60 in this quadrant, which is 360 minus 60, which is 300. Okay? Now, I've got to divide both sides by 3. So that means I'm going to have a 20, and a 40, and an 80, and a 100. Okay, now I want to do my quick thing. I want to say 360 all the way around, and I'm going to divide it by 3. 360 divided by 3 is 120. So this is my first set of answers. Then I'm going to add 120 to each one of those. Okay, and I get 140, add 120, add 120, add 120. That's the second set. I'm going to have 3 sets because it's 3 times. Add 120, add 120, add 120, add 120. And that's going to be the end. Okay? Okay, I think that's enough to get you going there.